All right, we are live for the 112th episode of the
Let's go!
go!
Oh, I interrupted you. That's funny.
What
I'm just
happened?
kidding.
Who just stole my? Jake was stole my thunder.
I just interrupted you. It's okay.
Let's
I thought
let's
I'd be
try it
talking
again.
5 minutes.
We are live for the 112th episode of the
Let's go podcast. And if anyone's gonna interrupt me, we would allow Jake to do it. Jake's a huge sponsor of HSL in multiple ways with addictive ads, addictive research, and of course David Gottlieb's one win. Emphasis on one because they got to win. Crush. We have Jake here. We have Glenn Zuckerman from the Undefeated Ceremian Financial. Glenn's probably
I'm on
very
that team,
happy to
too.
finally be winning a little bit after not winning anything in the Sunday morning spring league the last 2 years, losing 2 years ago to Kaufman, losing this past year to yours truly, not only losing but really getting completely obliterated. So finally some winning for Glenn here, so he's a little bit happy.
I don't remember it that way at all, but okay.
And we'll have the sheriff who pitches for Glenn joining us shortly. Sorry, Glenn, for the hard truth. Anyways, Dave, take it away.
All right, we're sitting here. Gershon Brickler just informed me that there are two 5-0 teams in the tournament, which I forgot about. Just trying to figure out who has a bigger run differential. The Ceremian differential is 20 and Gordon Company's is 17. Okay.
We've only given up 8 runs.
Okay, and the other team, the other 5-0, has given up 13. So that really leads to the question today: is Ceremian Financial the best softball team ever constructed?
Far from it.
Not close.
Far from it.
Not close. I'll say a story what happened in the dugout yesterday. We're chilling, and Glenn goes, "Let's prove him wrong that we can spend all our money on a great pitcher and no other good players." To which I turn to Glenn and give him and flip him the bird, because that's not really nice to say to players mid-game. But, we're winning. We're winning. We're winning. It's all that matters. We're winning. We're getting on base. We're playing good fielding. We're watching good baseball. So that's that.
Who have been the stars? Go ahead, Glenn. Glenn.
I'll just say that, I don't think we're going to ever get the answer as to whether it makes sense to spend a big chunk of your money on a pitcher or not, because in this type of league where you're playing and it's a elimination game going forward every night, any team in this division can beat any team. And we've seen that. We see the run scored in the last couple games. It was a 1-0 game, it was a 3-2 game, and it was a 3-1 game. So any team can beat anybody. Twillery just won 2 games last night, if I'm not mistaken. They were neck and neck in the second game, lost in extras, right? So you see, like they were left for dead basically by you, Avi, on your podcast.
Yes.
And in typical Avi Edelman fashion, he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. And Twillery comes in, Jack Ross comes back, and they're a team that could take out Pollen in the playing game. I think it's not 50-50, but maybe 45% chance they're going to win that game.
Yeah.
So in this type of setup, it's any team can beat any team. I will say, Kaufman's been unbelievably dominant.
Oh, he's on fire.
Yeah. So first of all, there's 2 things going on. Number one is my theory from the beginning was that there'd be a certain percentage of players that just can't hit the top 4 or 5 pitchers, and that's been proven to be right. I mean, Pollen's striking out people, Koenig striking out people, and Kaufman has 20 strikeouts in 5 games, which to me is pretty impressive. We've given up 8 runs, and 3 of them I think were unearned. So he has 5 earned runs in 5 games. So he's been pretty dominant.
Yossi showed up just in time for the glazing. Good job, Yossi.
Yeah, I don't see him though. Anyway, he's been pretty dominant. Oh, there he is. He's been very dominant. And our field has held up so far. And Avi's gave us a lot of crap about not having an outfield. So I went and said, okay, I'll play outfield. And I'm bored out there. The balls aren't really coming. So far, our field has held up pretty well. But at any given night, one bad error, you lose the game, it's over. So I don't think, and an error can happen to anybody, good player, bad player, in any situation. And, these games are pretty tight.
Where in the outfield are you playing, Glenn?
So it's funny. We devised a strategy where I am playing the extra infielder on half of the batters, if not more, and then going to right center on some of the stronger hitters. So, but last night, I mean, no offense to Pollen's team in any way, but last night there were barely any balls hit to me in right center and to me in short center. The balls were, there was a very windy night. The balls were not carrying at all. So we had a couple of plays in left. One very nice play by Moskovic in left. Zinn was catching simple fly balls that anybody really could catch, and I think our right fielder caught one or two.
Speaking of pitching, the Sheriff, looking at his full season stats, he's pitching to a 1.29 ERA with 20 strikeouts and 4 walks through 5 games.
Yeah, and I think at least 2 of those walks were intentional, unintentional walks.
I'm actually gonna go through as you guys are talking. I'm gonna check, the other 3 big pitchers, see what they did, how in comparison to that.
Yeah.
So Glenn, Morty Gindolf makes the comment that you guys have the better run differential than the other 5-0 team, and have only given up 8 runs, but the other team didn't use any subs this season. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and
point.
they also didn't face Pollen and Koenig, in their division, so they can score more runs. And they're two different divisions here from what I'm seeing, and I haven't watched any of their games really, but you can pretty much just sum it up as follows: you have the teams that spent a lot of money on their pitching for the most part. In this division, I would include Koenig in that. That's a $50 and up on pitching. 3 out of the 5.
Also. The soft
and a soft
for a lot of money, and he's a good pitcher. He throws hard.
He's a very
got
good
a big
pitcher.
shout out. He got a big shout out from Steve last night. Steve said he's not really a B pitcher.
He's not. He's not. No, he's a solid pitcher. And by the way, and he hits too. He had a nice shot against Kaufman in our game.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of money spent on pitching.
Just one sec, Glenn. Just one sec. There's an up and coming pitcher who's watching the podcast. His name's Mo Kreindler. Just wanted to give him a shout out. Friend of mine watching. He's up and coming. Maybe he'll join the tournament next year.
He's a real 5-tool athlete and has great parlays too. So shout out.
Yeah.
Mo.
Okay, sorry, Glenn. Go on.
Yeah. I was just saying, and the other division has a lot of money spent on hitting, and very, very, with the exception of Ash, and very little money spent on pitching. To me, Ezzy's team is very, very balanced. He's got a very, very strong fielding team. His pitching is hittable. And the way to beat Ezzy's team, we didn't really do a great job of it last night. It's just hit singles up the middle, and hope he doesn't throw you out of first base. More on that later. But the fact of the matter is that there's different styles of drafting, and there's different ways to win. I'm sure you're going to talk about the sub rule, and we can talk about that right now.
We got to get the elephant. Yeah, Dave sort of brought that up. The elephant in the room here clearly is that you guys had Moshe Zinn play for you 4 of the 5 games in which teams are very, I was a little frustrated when I hear teams saying, "Oh, we lost to them because they had Zinn." Okay,
let's talk about that, Avi. Because
wait, 1 second. And the accusation is a little bit stronger, actually. What's going around? What people are saying is much like Zinn carried Avi to a championship Sundays in the spring, he's carrying Ceremian Financial on his shoulders, and it's going to be a bloodbath when you get to the semis.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That's what I'm hearing. A lot of people saying.
That's what Younger told me. Younger told me that Yitzi Miller, a lot of guys. Maybe not Yitzi Miller, but Younger, Wach came at me. I got into a mini fight in the 4th inning of your game last night. Guys were genuinely attacking me.
Yeah, that's because we played the mental game against him last night. Let me explain. Zinn's a great player. I think he's having a great time playing on our team. Told us it's much more fun playing for us than for Lowinger. And for you, Avi. but I will tell you that this Shohei Ohtani Zinn, who's such an incredible Aaron Judge type player, is a whopping 3 for 12 with 1 RBI in the 4 games that he played for us. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Zinn. He's a great guy, a lot of fun to play with, great defender. But you guys are crying about 3 for 12 with 1 RBI? I mean, come on.
Glenn, how have you been hitting in the tournament?
Not well. I mean,
Steve Pollen was hitting 750 going into last night.
I can tell you right now what Glenn finished up.
I'm not hitting very well this year. One hit got taken away from me last night on a very funny situation that never happened to me before.
Glenn's batting to a 267 average.
On base percentage is 3-something, right?
353 and a 620 OPS.
Where do you get?
Let me explain. There's some
1
great
RBI.
the best thing that this league has this season is the video and the stats. So credit to you guys for putting that in, and I challenge you to put it in for all the leagues that you're doing because it's a major. Yeah, but I will tell you this: I'm not making any excuses. I will tell you that I'm batting fourth on this team, and I don't think I've done my job as a four hitter, and I think the playoffs hopefully will be a different story. How's that? Okay, I will tell you, I feel like, and Jacob can tell you, I feel like I'm expending a lot of energy in pumping our guys up, and keeping them focused. It's almost like I'm the manager more than a player.
The big issue is that Glenn got old, and that if you scream to him, "I got a fly ball in the outfield," you have to scream it to him so loud so he can hear it. Because last night our right fielder almost barreled Glenn over in right field.
And what happened?
And Glenn still caught it on a little bobble and a little catch.
No bobble,
No
flat
bobble?
in the glove.
I
No
thought
bobble.
it was a bobble, but maybe you're
No
just.
bobble,
I
but-
think you're just old and your memory runs out.
But I am
That's
getting
okay.
older.
I'm just
I am
kidding,
getting older.
Glenn.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you the story. What happened last night? You guys can comment on this. It's never happened to me before. So we're playing against Ezzy's team, and Bloom, who's a good friend, is playing shortstop, and he's moving before I get into the box. He's moving a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left, and he's trying to figure out where to play me. And I look at him and I start waving him to go to the right, meaning up the middle, and he doesn't listen to me. And I waved him again, move to the right, up the middle. First pitch comes in, boom, smash line drive right where I told him I was going to hit it. And I literally put my head down and I'm starting to laugh as I'm trotting to first base. And freaking Ezzy Younger throws me out from center field at first base. Yeah, never happened. It won't happen again either.
Younger threw out a guy in the second game at first base from center field as well. Again, by the way.
Yeah,
Two guys.
He's got a cannon of an arm.
So Glenn,
credit to him.
Considering you're hitting 260 and the last two seasons you hit over 600 in the Sunday Spring League, maybe the pitching in the B-level pitchers are stronger than the A-level pitchers. I know you faced a few A-level pitchers, but you also faced a few B-level pitchers, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I had 2 hits and a walk against Ezzy's team last night, but that second hit was a thrown out of first base, so that's one. Pollen, I got 1 hit last night. Koenig got me, and I forgot what happened in the other games. The truth of the matter is, guys, is that it's me more than the pitchers. I'm getting myself out, and I have to stop that.
All right. So, Yossi, welcome to the show. What are your thoughts and feelings so far about the Twillery tournament? Give us the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, I tried to get Moshe Zinn to sub in for me on this podcast.
Banger of a line, Yossi.
But, he's busy
Very good. Is he
funny.
eligible to
I think
sub
the
on a pod or no?
He can go on any
he's
pod.
eligible
That's the rule.
to be on the podcast until the playoffs. I think you guys will address the elephant in the room, as Avi said. The sub rule will change. Obviously, you guys got enough heat for it, and I think there's a lot of really good suggestions. I hope most of the really good players are going to be in the tournament next year, and that they won't be a sub. I think they made a lot of sense to do different tiers of subs, right? So if you have a sub that's really, really good, it replaces, let's say, a player who's over $50. Then you have a second tier sub, between $30 and $50, and so on and so forth. But putting aside the sub rule, which I know does slant things, I think the tournament overall is a success. I think the second piece that I would love to see, and I know this year you guys were really hindered by the holidays and the schedule, and you really lost a bunch of weeks. But I think the one thing I would have loved to have played against is the other division. I think we, as Glenn mentioned, and the teams were pre-selected, right? This just randomly worked out how the majority of the quote-unquote A pitchers are all in one division. In fact, the only team in the other division that we played against was Ash's team, which Ash is obviously really, really good, although he wasn't there that night, but he had an excellent backup pitcher sub.
Who pitched? Who was the backup for them?
His name is Ariel.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys
yeah,
but,
legend. They just
Ariel is I think we all agree Ariel's an A-level pitcher. So really the only game we played out of the whole tournament where I would say that we had quote unquote softer pitching was against Ezzy's team. And And I would, I love hitting slower pitching. I think most of the guys do. So I would say for next year, if there's an opportunity where we have maybe 8 games or 9 games or whatever that is, and a little bit of a longer tournament, I think the schedule will allow you to do that. So you won't have to lose that many weeks.
And playoffs should probably be cross division or including every team, not just 2 divisions separately, like the American League, National League.
Yeah, I think those are good problems to have. I think the good problem to have in the sense of like where clearly there's a level of competitiveness and it does feel like a little bit like there's 2 leagues in a way because we just don't see, like, I don't get to face Gordon companies or some of these other teams. But I will say I think the one probably the most popular positive out of this is that, and for sure for Glenn and I who've really predominantly just played in the A, is that we get to play with a whole bunch of guys we've never played with before. And I think there's clearly some talent that we play with that are deservingly, borderline or should be in the A league. And I think the A League moving forward needs an insurgency of fresh talent and young
Does.
talent. And
It
I think
desperately does.
that'll
It
be
desperately
key. I
does.
think Glenn and I both, for example, Ari Moskovic is our left fielder. Ari Moskovic is, to me, an absolute A-level player. He should be playing in the A League. But Glenn now knows him. So if Glenn needs an A player, he needs an outfielder, Glenn could text Ari Moskovic and say, hey, do you want to play? We have a really good shortstop named Avi Rave, who I would argue that could definitely fill in an A League. That's another example, and I'm sure plenty of other teams have that.
Mikey Reinhardt, Glenn pointed out on Prime Cuts. Glenn asked me.
Yeah, the second baseman.
He was great.
Excellent player. And
I've never seen that guy. He defensively
he plays third, and he's a phenomenal hitter.
He plays short in the B League also.
He was as good as anybody I've seen in the field last night. I mean, he was going after the balls like textbook perfectly the right way, and caught my eye right away.
Yeah, no. So I think what the goal of this was to accomplish is to bring unity to the entire softball community, and that was accomplished. I think what you guys I think the first season, experimental season, was a big success. You guys will be infinitely more successful next year. I think the drafting is going to be a lot of hype because now that you've already done it, people see it, they'll get it. I think you're going to have to obviously probably have a little less parity among the captains because you're going to want to even it out that the captains, whether you do 1 captain or 2 captains, you're probably going to want to make sure that the captains are combined. If you do 2, are aligned with the other captains, like the level of experience. And I think that's it. I mean, do you guys have any questions for me other than that?
I have a question for you, Kaufman.
Sure.
I have a question. It seems to me that you're pitching this year, you're throwing it a little bit harder, and you're a lot more dominant stats-wise. Do you go about facing with some landing spots in a lineup differently now in this league than you would, let's say, in an A League?
It's a great question for all you kids out there. So it's actually funny because last night I was pitching the first game and I felt really good. We had to move back the mound because, Sach said it's too close. I'm kidding. The mound was too close. We moved it back. But it's also a good opportunity.
I got to their game. I left some good highlights to come get a premier matchup, prime cut for Ceremian Financial, and I see a bunch of grown men yelling like children trying to figure out where the mound should be for like 15 minutes. I got so frustrated, I just walked off. I don't think I've ever been so frustrated.
It's very interesting because the night before I had a doubleheader on that field, and Chaim Mintz, who's very seasoned and also well schooled in mound distances by his mentor Ariel, pitched for us. He subbed for us, Chaim Mintz, and he said this is a 43-foot mound. This isn't a 45-foot mound. So that was really interesting. He noticed it right away.
Yeah, so the mound was close. We moved it back after the first inning. It's funny, like last night the first game I felt like I pitched well. The second game I actually feel like I didn't pitch well. But in the first game, I'm like, just mentally thinking, okay, wow, maybe I'm taking my game up to another level. And then I think in the third inning or the fourth inning, like Bloom and Miller lead off with like back-to-back singles. And I'm like, I'm back in the A League, right? So I think Glenn... I obviously the talent, there is of course a little bit of a gap. Not every team has A players and B players, so it is a very different lineup. Like when I face Glenn's team or Ash's team, which are Glenn and I are on the same team in one league, but like when I'm facing the Bombers or I'm facing Ash's team at night, like there's very few weak spots. There's very few holes. So like. You have to really if you just throw hard, like you're just predictable and they're going to hit you. So you really
Dave,
have to. It's much more of a chess
Sunday
match
strength is
where
still getting no love, Dave. The championship
against
won't do it.
the weaker
Avi, your mic isn't so good right now. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Go
against
ahead.
the weaker hitters, you could just throw really hard and for the most part have success. So I think I'd probably say that, Glenn, the big difference is that before in other leagues I'm throwing probably 60% fastballs, 40% everything something different. Here I'd probably say it's closer to 90%.
Could you guys hear me, Daniel? Could you guys hear me?
No, I can hear you better. Yeah.
Daniel Ash. I mean, it could be it looks this way because he's facing weaker hitters and a weaker depth in the lineup. I'm convinced he's throwing the ball faster now in 45-degree weather than I saw him throw all
And
summer.
I have a theory on this, Avi.
Okay.
I'm telling you this is 1,000% accurate. You guys are using different softballs in this league than you did in the past. They're harder. And the reason why they're hard, and the reason why the pitches are going faster is because the ball is harder.
Or it could be the
Glenn, you know why that might be. I don't want to mention it in the podcast, but Glenn, you know what we spoke about.
I know we spoke about it. The ball. If this is more of a true softball, in the old days, you were throwing literally like a blow up beach ball. It was a mush. It was terrible. The quality of the ball is allowing the pitchers to throw it faster.
Yeah, I hear you. Man, it wouldn't shock me. I could tell you guys off air what Glenn and I talked about.
Yeah.
Jake, what's your experience been so far playing with these studs and in the tournament and 5-0 record?
It's fun to play some vets. It's fun to play some older guys. Last fall I subbed for. You guys are a bunch of old hoagies. Last year I subbed for Edelman's team in the fall, and I got my first experience of A-League. And you can definitely tell it's more intense. Guys are throwing harder. Less holes in the infield.
Guys are screaming on the
People are
mound.
making errors. You have. Do I have issues? Can you guys hear me?
No. Edelman has the mic issue.
You have issues, but nothing with your
Sure.
mic.
I might be an addict. That's okay. But still, it's just a lot more consistent, cleaner ball last year, and then this year to bring it all together, play some good A-League guys. It's a fun time. I'm not sure if you guys know, but the addictive ad-sponsored teams do not tend to do very well in leagues. I don't know why. I think my business is pretty okay, so it just seems a little strange karma. But yeah, not to not be on an addictive ads team, we go 5-0. So going on an undefeated team, steamrolling into the playoffs.
Jake,
it's good. What's up?
Jake, who's the leader of your team? Who's really acting as the captain?
It's Moshe Zinn. I hope you guys all know that.
By the way, if we win and we have a team dinner, we know Zinn's going to be there.
Well, he sponsored your. Which division are you guys in again? The Bravos. He sponsored Bravo's dinner for you guys, basically, right?
Yeah, he won you guys $15 gift cards to Bravo Cookie Pizza.
Who said it's more like a snack? Was it Glenn who said more like a snack?
Yes.
Wacholder said it.
I said it.
No, Glenn said it.
I said it. I said it.
$15 get you.
It gets you a Diet Coke.
Honestly, more of the managerial stuff goes to Glenn and Sammy. Sammy's been doing a really good job also, just making sure people are in the right spaces, right head spaces, keeping your head in the game, saying goals and like fielding. Sammy's been there also. And then when I catch Kaufman, it's just me telling Kaufman to stop throwing the ball poorly and just man up and throw some gas and asking him.
How have you been hitting, Jake?
I get on base, but it's errors. So it's like it's very interesting. Like in this league, I've noticed.
You put the ball in play, though. You're putting the ball in play.
Jake, you're batting a 250, a 250
average. What's my
terrible.
OBP? If you can look it up real quick. No,
Two-
it's fine. I'm not sure if
Errors don't count.
I'm not sure if errors, but still, like I'm putting the ball down hard, and if I'm batting at the bottom of the lineup at this rate, if I'm getting on base 2 out of every.
Yeah, you reached an error. You reached an error 3 times.
If I'm able to get on base at the bottom of the lineup and help turn it over, that's a big deal for a team like this. So
100%. He was involved in some of our scoring plays as well. But I just want to tell you guys that in terms of being an older leader type person on a team like this, there's a lot to be said for keeping everybody focused and keeping everybody in tune with where they should be positioned and sort of keeping everybody awake. And we do it without yelling at people. We do it with intensity, but without yelling at people. Some others will scream at their players. for making errors or not sliding. And those people eventually, David, will be your clients, I assume, in therapy.
They're terrible.
And so that's a net positive for you as well.
I messaged Steve before the podcast. I said, "Do you have any trolling questions for Glenn?" And he wrote, "I thought the goal of the podcast was to see how far I could be pushed before I have a meltdown."
He reached that point and then some. I walked up to the.
I think that plate's 50-50, by the way. Even if he slides, I don't think he's safe. I think it's.
I think you have to tell the audience that they could go back to the live stream. And I don't know when it is, but it's at minute 50 and minute 14 on the podcast, on the live stream, where Steve absolutely loses it. And
I have it on my video.
I might be able to play it here.
I have some great content. Content on that.
But can I rewind? Can I rewind it? After the first game, I walk over to field number 1, and Steve's the only one there. And I really thought he was going to like smash his head against the tree. Like he was pacing back and forth. He didn't know what to do with himself. He was the only one there. I'm like, what happened? He goes, I don't want to talk about it. It was like a moment that I wish I had on camera because you all needed to see how intense Steve really is, even when no one's around. I mean, and even after the game's over, this guy is as intense and as a competitor as it gets. I love him, but he's taking this very, very, very seriously because he doesn't know any other way to play.
Yeah, Steve doesn't have like a 50 miles an hour speed. It's either 0 or
It's all gas,
100.
no brakes.
And you'll see that on the live stream of the game last night on YouTube.
Or my highlight.
Or Avi,
I can share it on the screen. I just can't figure out how to turn. If everybody wants to crane their necks, hold on one sec. I'm gonna.
Well, I think the audio is the part that really does it justice of Steve, as opposed to the actual.
You can also show the missed strike 3 call that Dom didn't call it a ball, and Steve I thought was going.
I thought Steve was going.
Oh yeah, Dom wanted me to send that to him.
Dom took a bunch of shots, by the way, yesterday. I thought Dom was going to die behind the plate. He must have got hit in the kidney like 7 times. I thought it was really bad, but thank God.
Well, Dom bet Steve $100 that ball was 8 inches outside. I don't know what reference he's using for that measurement, but I'd love to see whether it actually was outside.
The irony about it is that the person up on the strike 3 call or the questionable call was Moshe Zinn. So we obviously asked Moshe Zinn because he's allowed to sub in as an ump. And I do want to give credit, Avi and David. I think the one big piece about this league that is very, very important, because we as much as people talk about the sub rule and everything, you had 4 games last night that were all very, very competitive. You had, in terms of teams getting blown out, Twillery, who was winless, went in last night, won their first game against Steve, and then lost only in the last inning on a walk-off. And then I think they had the lead to the 7th from what I heard. So even the quote-unquote worst team in the league, who was rated at the bottom, ended up beating one and coming very close to beating another team. And our games were close. Our game with Koenig was a 1-run game. Our game with Ezzy, for the most part, was a 1-run game and then a late home run. So, I mean, it was really within 2 runs. So I think if we talk about the competitiveness of the league, I believe that any team can beat any team on any night. And I think that is the goal of what this tournament is and what it's for. And I think for the playoffs, you will see where I think every team will feel like if they walk on the field, they have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And by the way, just for, not for nothing, but like, how did we score our runs in the game against Steve? So first of all, Zinn had nothing to do with any of the runs scored. Our right fielder, who was one of the later picks on our team, smashes a ball over the right fielder's head for a triple, and he scores on a ground ball by somebody. I don't remember where it was.
It was Avi.
And there's a run.
It was
just
Avi
on
Rave, ground ball to second base.
Right.
So he scored.
Right, exactly. Okay, the point is that it was a 3-1 game, or what was the score last night?
3-2. Badger flag.
3-2. Walk-off. We hit a walk-off. 3-2.
Yeah, we had a walk-off. The walk-off wasn't a hit. It was a ground ball up the middle that the shortstop smothered. Maybe it was a hit, but the point is it wasn't like a clean
loaded,
single.
Nobody out and
right.
Scored on us.
And the point is that I had nothing to do with that last run on the walk-off. Zinn had nothing to do with the last run on the walk-off. So it's nice to see some of these other guys, I will call them the kids, coming through. So Sammy, credit to Sammy and to Kalpin for finding some of these players. I love playing with like a guy like Wiseman, really good guy. Never played on a team with him before.
Great hitter. How's he been hitting, by the way?
Popping up a little bit. I think our best hitting is ahead of us. Our team is batting like 250 as a team. We're not really hitting the ball so great collectively. Rave is hitting the ball well. Sammy's hitting the ball well, and Moscovitz is hitting the ball very well.
269 team average. 269.
What are the
Right,
other
there you go.
teams at? What are the other
average is that
teams at?
compared to the rest of the league? Where are we ranked?
In stats?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I see 327. I see. No, you guys are on the bottom.
Right. So by the way,
Yeah.
it shows. It's funny. There's
I
and Avi
see-
and David. I'll push this question to you guys, and then we get to see this segment sponsored by Steve's verbal abuse of his players. Do you on the draft strategy for next year? Right. So there's this whole debate. Right. Do you build your team that you kind of not spend it all on pitching, go low on pitching, and get
We
really
spoke
good
about this
defensive
before,
hitting?
yes.
Kind of like the way Ezzy's team is. Or do you look at this and say, okay, well, obviously our team as well as Steve's team, Koenig's team, where you see pitching as an even more premium, and pitching should really be, the money should really go to pitching. What do you think, David and Avi? Where do you think it's going to go next year?
I think Kaufman's going to go for $150 next year. I think that's where this goes, and then Zinn for 40, then everyone else for 10.
I'm not spending 150 on Kaufman.
I just think that's what's going to happen. I think people are going to not realize.
I'll tell you this much. I think Zinn will be the highest bid player next year after everything that happened this year.
Well, are we counting the Lowinger? I selected Zinn as my sub before the draft, as part of the draft, because I've never seen or heard anything so ridiculous in my life, where he said I drafted based upon my knowing that Zinn would be my sub. And that's what convinced the commissioners and those running the tournament to say, okay, well, in that case, let's leave the sub rule as it is. I encourage anybody who's on the captain's chat to go back to September 16th or so and look at the chat where Kaufman and I were outwardly against the sub rule, thought it was a nonsense explanation, and then we just beat him to the punch by getting Zinn to sub for us instead of for anyone else.
Oh, you know
Zinn's
what?
Also, he's like, please ask me. I cannot play with Lowinger. The guy wears sunglasses at night. So
Yeah.
I think it was the same.
Wait, so Avi, you said pitchers. The league is going to move. You think the captains are going to move away from spending high on pitchers? Tell me why.
I think because I mean, I'll be honest. Outside of Yossi Kaufman and the Sheriff, I don't really. I don't really think. I don't really think most teams have been carried by their pitcher, meaning Pound's been pitching well. Ash's been pitching okay. Ash had games where he gave up 7-8 runs. Koenig's been pitching very well, but he had tremendous defensive plays behind him. I think the only team so what?
Go on, Avi.
No, I think the only team so far that has been absolutely sort of carried, at least defensively, by their pitcher has been Ceremian for the most part. I mean, you'll have guys on Prime Cut saying Moshe Zinn saved the game for Ceremian in the field because no one else would make the plays that he made in center field. I think it was ridiculous last night. But outside of that, I think for the most part, teams are relying on a lot more than just their pitcher. And the teams that have less of a price at pitcher have a much deeper lineup and a much deeper team.
And by the way, defensively, Zinn played center field. I think he's normally a third baseman, shortstop, but he played center field. I think in the course of the 4 games that he played, I think he had one catch that I would say was relatively difficult. And that was the line drive that was smashed right at him that he almost overran last night. Calvin, am I forgetting anything?
Yeah, I think, by the way, to your point, Avi, I think the reason why we're in the position that we're in is, yes, obviously, Glenn and Sammy spent a lot of money on me, but we got some really good steals. Avi Rave at $13 is a great steal, and I think if that wasn't the case, I think then we would be in trouble. I think if we were really compromised defensively, regardless of, the ball is getting hit in play. It's not like as if every single batter striking out. Oh wait, is this the Steve? Here we go.
I'm not sure. You said it was at minus 50. One second. It was at the 50-minute mark.
No.
Yeah,
It was, now that it's already downloaded, but no. You got to go to the game 2. And
game 2.
I think it was.
No, I will pump up the volume, but where is it?
About my play or no?
Yeah, but
This might be
It was
it.
game 2 or game 1, Yossi?
It was
What?
game 2. It was against us.
Yes,
it was. Got to be the
I need the
third inning one?
timestamp.
It was Burns' play at the plate. Bases
Yeah, but I
loaded.
don't-
Steve's up. He gets a very shallow fly ball to left.
This is it.
That's not.
Let's
That's.
play.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, I'm on it.
No,
Is that Steve?
Steve
No,
wasn't the one that
Steve-
hit it.
Steve's hit it.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve did hit it.
Steve
because
was.
Steve didn't even run to first. He immediately went to coach the guy coming
All right,
in.
turn up the
Can
volume,
you
turn
guys
up the
hear the
volume.
audio? Can you guys hear audio?
Yeah, you got to make it really loud.
This is the loudest I could get it.
And watch
Yeah.
Steve out of the batter's box.
2-1.
Is that Steve? I can't even see. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's Steve.
Watch him out of the batter's box. He doesn't even run to first.
3-1. Let's see. Oh, that's obvious. I'm good.
Now, I just want to.
Glenn, wait. Glenn, wait.
I said 40 times.
Wait for Yossi to ask. No.
Of course he's safe.
Now let me ask you a question.
I don't know if you know this, Glenn. I rubbed it in after. David knows this, right? Where I sit here, David calls it. So Glenn. So obviously Steve.
That's got to go up on the website.
Right.
That's a fantastic.
And then I'm rubbing it in. So Steve is in the background, and I go to Dom. I'm like, Dom, do you think if he slides, he's safe? And I just hear Steve screaming, "Of course he was safe."
I will say this. First of all, Steve is not the one who should have been coaching the runner coming in. That was the guy on deck. That's number one. Number two is when a guy's coming in from third, not only you have to yell down, you have to point at what side of the plate he should go. Go to the outside, go to the inside. Steve was just standing there eating some popcorn watching the thing develop.
Yeah.
So I give
By the way,
Steve
I'll tell you,
20% responsibility.
Glenn, to your point, 2 quick points. To your point, Holy Schnitzel had a game recently where there was a controversial call at home where they won on a tag up from third. Avi Nenner behind home plate was doing exactly what you said, Glenn. Not only was he telling him, slide, he was pointing left side, which is the only reason why it even made it close. He ended up calling it safe and won them the game. And to my second point, if you watch the video, you could see that when Dom made the call, Dom had to give a little bit extra oomph to "you're out" because he wanted to get louder than Steve Pollard screaming
He
"get down,
did.
get down."
He did. He
Watch
put on a
it
show.
carefully. Dom give extra energy and say "you're out" to get to overpower the voice.
Well,
of Steve
I will
Pollard.
say that even if Don called him safe, we were going to appeal third that he left early, and then Don was definitely going to call him out. So either way, he was going to be out.
Yossi, I want to go back to something you asked before about where the league is going to move in next year, the tournament. One is we really have to wait to see what happens in the playoffs. If the championship ends up being Ash versus Kaufman or something like that, or Steve versus Kaufman, it'll change the whole tenor of the what the takeaway is. Like, we don't know yet. The other thing is, I'm seeing more errors, I feel like, than even at the B level in this league. And I feel like it's because guys are in unusual positions. Guys aren't familiar with each other. I like what Glenn was saying about focusing in. We've had some issues with that also. So I think fielding actually, we beat Ash 2-1. I don't know if both runs went as unearned. We did end up putting 8 hits up off of him, I think, somehow. But there were definitely some key errors that they made. So I think fielding, it's a little harder to quantify, but I mean, what do they say? They say pitching and fielding wins championships, right? But I think fielding even more than the pitching. I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting. We'll see where Mikey Weiss gets.
Our motto is pitching and defense. It's everything.
Pitching and defense.
And we haven't really been hitting well at all. I think we can get better there. But I think you're right in the keeping people focused and the ball always finds sort of the weakest spot. It just happens. It always finds it. And the question is, will that person, whoever that person is, make the play or not? And will it be a consequential play or not? And that's why I don't think your comment on, well, let's see who's facing whom in the finals is relevant, because any of these games can swing the other way on that one play that finds the wrong person in the wrong scenario. They had bases loaded against Kaufman last night with 1 out. And if there was an error on that play, if the ball was hit to, let's say, a different fielder who dropped the ball, they score 3 runs and they win. That's simple.
Yeah.
You guys
interesting.
In terms of the errors,
Yeah.
ALAR, sorry, 1 second, Jesse. ALAR Bean says, I think the cold is contributing towards the errors. Interesting. Who is Alar?
I'll tell you what I think is contributing towards the errors, and it's. I mean, this was a reality of also this tournament is that I do think there are probably some players in the tournament that are probably on the very low end of the B that aren't and that's okay. Like, I think the fact that they want to play and they signed up and we're a community, and even if someone is really just not at the skill level of the B player, I think that interest is warranted. But I think the difference is that when you bring in a team, it doesn't matter. It's an A league, a B league. Like, ultimately, let's say Glenn brings in a team, he's going to play who he wants to play. When you when you sign up for this tournament, you pay for this tournament. You are playing. You have the right to play, and you have to play. So there are probably guys that maybe on some teams that maybe are out of position or shouldn't really be in their position. But it's a tournament. It's what we signed up for. So I think you're probably seeing versus if this was people bringing their own team, they would roll in with 14, 15 guys, and then the weaker players maybe they slot with, they don't field. So I think there's some of that. The other thing is, Dov, just to answer your question before about Steve, it's 2 hours and 57 minutes in is exactly when Steve loses it on the strike 3 call from Dom, if you want to play it.
Oh, there's another one. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's
257.
another.
That's the better one.
Every 20 minutes you'll find a gem, but he pointed you to the second best one.
Oh,
this
all right,
is
guys.
a really
I'm out.
By the way, take a guess who's leading.
I'm out.
Wait, 257?
See you, Jake.
exactly 257.
You got to go, Jake? You have the business lunch?
He left. Thanks. Take a guess who leads the league in batting average.
Take a
Moskovic's
guess.
got to be up there.
I'm going to say Bloom.
No.
Pollen?
And
Steve Pollen, batting 667.
he's a
Wow.
very good hitter. Very underrated hitter. And it's funny,
Moskovic's fifth. He's batting 556.
and I said this to Glenn last night. I don't know what Steve is doing or what. Usually people don't, as they get older, get better. But Steve went from being, there it is. That's the at bat.
Let's see.
Steve
Is
ended
it
up
outside?
going from, like, a good hitter to a really good hitter.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, this is it. You can play right here.
That's a foul ball. He hit a foul ball.
No, the next one. It's the next pitch.
Lowinger might have been over Steve. He got robbed of 2 hits last night. The stats guy gave him 1 for 4 instead of 3 for 3. I think he messed up the lineup.
Nah,
very
that sounds about
frustrating.
right.
Okay, you guys
1
ready?
for 4 versus 3 for 3. How do you mess that up?
He didn't realize there was an 11th guy in the lineup and he moved everyone out of position after the first
I got a signal for forward fit. 0-2, 1 out.
Let's see. The catcher sets up.
Stepping up way outside.
Oh, just missed. No. And you moved it back there.
I did not. That was a strike.
Oh, bullshit. I'm over your shoulder.
He moved.
I'm over his shoulder, Steve. Come on. You'll see on the camera. Tomorrow, look at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. At least 8 inches off. 8 inches. I'll bet you $100 right now. $100. It's 8 inches off the plate.
Dom, play the game.
Done. You got it. I want $100 sent to me. Go ahead.
You know the next pitch can be a strike, right? There we go. He swung at it.
You can pause it.
Thank God.
This is great content. Dom jawing with Steve.
Actually, the pitch, could you tell? Because he definitely set up outside. It's hard to tell where
It's
the
hard
pitch
to tell on because
was.
Dom's blocking, his body's blocking play.
He definitely set up outside.
Yeah, but he didn't reach to the. He didn't reach to his right with the glove.
Camera. Tomorrow, look at 9.
I turned the volume off.
No, if you go back to, I think it's 250, but
Oh.
Dom generally as an umpire does not give on the high-low. He gives on the corners. And I think
Yeah.
Steve is probably, Dom, by the book, it's a ball. I think just the way Dom's strike zone is that he usually gives the corners, I think he was expecting it to be a strike. But Dom is the first one to admit that he'll say like 6 out of 8 he'll call those strikes, and then 2 he won't, and that was one he didn't. But
I think the other umpire's zone is much wider.
the
Isn't
other
it?
umpire zone is
Much
crazy.
higher.
The young kid,
Much higher.
that guy's zone is a pitcher's dream. I will
Yeah.
be the first one to tell you that I got calls that were not strikes, and and he called. We got one of our players, Frankel, got right. Was it Glenn who got called out on the eyes on strike 3?
It was certainly
it was
face level.
yeah.
Listen, it is what it is. You got to know your umpire.
Menachem Davidowitz, is he number 2? Avi, we have a question from the audience.
Mikey Weiss, by the way, just to point out, Mikey Weiss is leading the tournament in ERA. Do you know what his ERA is?
0.5.
0.80.
That's
So
unbelievable. That's amazing.
Why is that the case? Is because
He's got a great field.
He's given up 13 runs. No, well, according to this, he's given up 13 runs, only 4 of which are earned.
Oh.
So that's why, because all of his play, they're all errors.
By the way, so now you can make the argument that pitchers are overrated. If Mikey Weiss is the best ERA, and I think everyone agrees that Mikey Weiss is more of a B pitcher, and he went for how much did Mikey Weiss go for in the draft?
Well, the $1 man, they call him.
I have a theory on that, and I don't know Mikey all that well.
And by the way, Nocha Mintz is second at .97.
Okay. I have a theory for that. It's everything we just talked about combined. Those pitchers pitch to contact, and so the ball's going in play, and then because of that, the errors are happening.
Jake, how many games did Jake Casson pitch for you, Dave?
How many games?
Yeah.
3 games.
.62.
So the pitchers that pitch to contact are putting the ball in play against them, which is leading to errors, which makes all those runs unearned, which leaves only very few earned runs. That's what.
By the way, I want to give it. I want to give it a shout out. Alar Bean, who posted, is R.E.A. Ross, who the guy who said the cold is contributing towards the errors. He's R.E.A. Ross, who's been scoring, and one of the scorekeepers doing a great job. He sends us a detailed list of all his Sfakos, all his questions after the game, how we should score them.
So speaking of the cold, what the heck happened last night where one of the sponsors brought down soup and cholent and whatnot to one game, and the other game is left in the freezing cold? How is that acceptable, Avi?
Well, I'll tell you why. His team, his actual team, Twillery, was going up against his sponsor, against himself, Prime Cuts. So he took advantage of the him playing himself in that game.
And he's hurt. And he's hurt.
So am I getting some stocks from my sponsor? Like, I don't understand.
We're getting unlimited life insurance.
Ceremian life insurance. They also, by the way, Yossi, it's very important to know that they want to make it very clear that a big part of what they do is also financial planning. So for any of the young guys getting married, Glenn, on your team, or just got married and need help budgeting, Ceremian is there for
Glenn's
you.
already given an incentive to the players. He said that the top 3 players on our team will get future financial support from Glenn. So that's their incentive.
I just want to trip out to the Hamptons. That's all I want.
They actually sent over their one of their nurses to my apartment today to get some blood work. I actually don't have life insurance yet. I'm getting it right now. Very quick. The whole thing is like literally 10 minutes. They come to your apartment and like.
Avi's got a nurse at his apartment lunch hour.
I'm just gonna state the obvious here that this whole league and everything that's happening here is all meant to help Avi, improve his lifestyle. He's got a wardrobe from Twillery. He's got life insurance from this Ceremian. He's got all the gift cards that he's supposed to give out to all of us. He's been using all of them. I won Player of the Week. He still doesn't give me my card. He's eating it.
I hope Smash House doesn't see this, but check this out.
See, he's using my Smash Mouth
Glenn,
house
he's
card.
Need the life insurance when he's on camera next year, and he's 350 pounds because he's eating
unbelievable.
Bravo pizza,
and he's not even
Schnitzel,
playing.
And Smashburger.
He's not even playing.
So remember the spring league? We have Player of the Week every week, every Sunday, and $30 the Player of the Week.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. He doesn't give them out. It's a total fraud. The whole thing's a fraud.
Smash House for life for me, baby.
I'm going to Smash House. I'm paying cash, and this guy's got my card right there.
We gotta get like Ozempic sponsor for this.
By the way, Jesse, I reached out to a company called Skinny Shot. They actually sponsored LBA a couple of seasons, and they shut me down. They said it's not the right time for them. Apparently, it's like one of those Ozempic type of things that people are doing, and then it helps to lose weight, and they shut me down.
Guys,
Maybe
we got to
send
stop.
one of the other commissioners over to see if they can get him.
Glenn, first of all, Glenn, we'll give a little teaser. But Ezra Hashem, with the help of God, we're planning on having some nice, yummy, warm food at the championship game.
Yes, stay tuned.
Can I suggest that you also have some play-by-play commentary of that game? The video, I haven't really watched it, but it's a little boring when there's no one talking.
Avi, I told you this from the get-go. My advice is just put earpods on that sync up to the phone that it's got, and then just call the game, or you could just comment on the game.
Would that work? Are you sure that would work?
Yeah, sure, why not? The audio.
Well, I could do that for the championship itself.
Yeah,
I could
do it for the
that.
championship. You'll see. I agree with Glenn. It gives a little extra.
I'll also tell you that Avi was at our game throughout the season multiple times. He's missed every single good play or controversial play on his video. He's missed all of them. And then he's complaining that he's not at the other field half the time. So we need to clone Avi and record at all times.
So before we go,
No, go ahead.
Before we
Oh,
go,
we didn't even get to the playoff matchups. You guys have to do another podcast.
I got to bounce. Yossi, any recruits that you have your eye on for Gordon Companies for next spring?
No comment.
Anybody? Glenn, I was gonna ask you that question next.
I'm
Glenn's
advising my client not to answer.
Yeah, I'm exactly. My lawyers advised me not to say.
Oh wait, but you guys are in the night league together?
Yeah, Monday night.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Monday Night League, but we have this guy play for us, the sub, who's like, he's fine. He played center field. He went 3 for 12. So you never know. He really enjoyed playing with us. And
by the way, he's talking about Zin. I don't mean to jump in. He's talking about Zin, and Zin is on the record saying he had the most fun playing with us than any of the 12 other teams.
Are you kidding?
It's true.
My Sunday morning spring team with me on the mound. You know how
he doesn't like being yelled at.
You know how chill and relaxed our team is when we win championships.
He does. Zin also.
Avi, your motto is walk a lot of guys and talk fast, right?
But Glenn, I don't know how old your kids are. I know you have some in college. Maybe if you can't divulge who you're looking for to join your Monday night squad, maybe you found a nice shidduch for one of your daughters or something in the league.
I don't know about.
I know that's why
married.
That's why Such Feldberg still plays. By the way, he's got like 5 daughters to marry off.
Moshe Zin is
he's out there scouting. Moshe Zin.
He has to ask Glenn permission to date one of Such's daughters.
Yes, and he's got a Twilly wardrobe too.
Yeah.
Wait. Zin has to ask Glenn permission to see one of Such's daughters.
It's part of the sub rule. When you sub for Glenn for 4 years, all life advice, legal advice, dating advice has to go through Glenn.
The
Glenn's
funny
gonna be on
thing
the
is,
sidelines of the date and be like, okay, Moshe, like say slide. He's on it.
I don't remember who's the guy that crashed into Sach and barreled him over last year, because that might be a good dating candidate right there. Whoever that person was.
Stetner?
Oh, Gestetner. Okay, maybe not him, but that would be funny if someone rolls him over.
The best part of that
dates his daughter
was that Gestetner's son-in-law was on Such's team.
That was a rough game, guys. David, for if you're unaware, there was a virtual massive brawl between 2 teams and 2 very large men. And the guy who crashed into Sach, Gestetner, who crashed into him, his son-in-law, was playing for Sach. And I just turned and I looked at him, because what do you do, right? Like, do you come to your team's help, like, naturally? Or do you defend your father-in-law?
Or do you run to the car, which is what he did?
Right.
Steve Pollen, welcome to the podcast. We have a place for Zin on the Lobos. He apparently isn't good enough to play shortstop for Ash, but he's good enough for the Lobos. That's a good point. He plays second base on the Lobos, right? On the Ash's team. Who's the shortstop on Ash? Benji Horowitz?
Benji's a very good player also. Very, very good defensive player. But I think guys next year just do like a lottery, like a sweepstakes, like a rent a Zin sweepstakes, and then this way, it's amazing how this guy has gotten. We've said the word Zin in the chat so many times. He's not even in the draft tournament, which is what makes it so great. And I think
Calvin, can I divulge to the crowd here that we actually had Adam Hoffman lined up to be sub at every one of these games, but we instead chose Zin just to mess with Lowinger.
It's true, by the way. Adam, I had a conversation with Adam. Can you imagine, Glenn, if we were brought down like Adam and Zin and Tal?
No, Adam was available. Adam was available every time, but we said, you know what? Let's stick with Zin just to mess with these guys, and here we are.
I texted Adam Hoffman. I had 6 guys missing this week. I texted Adam on Thursday, like 4 days before. He's like, very busy with work. Text me on Monday morning. So I text him on Monday morning. He says, not likely, but text me again in a few hours. So I didn't follow up with him a few hours later, but I don't know what his life is like, but his schedule is so fluid that something changes.
He didn't know whether we needed him or not. He was on hold.
I can't imagine my schedule being like, it might open up over the next few hours. I don't know. It's just like a funny thing. I don't know. These big long
He's not
people.
a 9-to-5er, Gottlieb. He actually works long hours.
Avi works. Avi is up there with the most cutthroat lawyers out there. 70 hours.
I stick to that statement. That statement.
All right. Whatever makes you sleep at night.
I will not back down from that.
All right. We gotta. Yeah. No, I know, Avi. Avi, you worked exceptionally hard, and it's very much appreciated. It's just. It was just funny in the time and place.
I think I put in more hours than everyone besides for potentially President Trump. It's not a joke.
So Avi, right now, the podcast is about to end. Who's facing whom in the finals and who's winning? Right now, on the spot.
Right now, I think the Zinless Ceremian Financial make the finals only because I don't think anybody will score more than 2 runs off of the Sheriff, in my opinion. Not the way he's pitching. And I think that Ceremian goes up against
It's got to be Gordon, huh?
Gordon's been so dominant, but I just get nervous, and I love my $1 man, but I get nervous with like Mikey Weiss in the mound. I'm thinking between 2 teams. Let's go. Let's go Gordon. It's hard for me to say not. I mean, they're 5-0 also. They pretty much had their way with every single team. They're very, very
Kiss
deep.
of death for both of those teams. There's no chance either one will be in the finals.
I think Ceremian cruises, by the way. I think for Ceremian it'll be easier.
By the way, I think it's a very bold. I mean,
we don't
look,
want to hear that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, also it's like you know, we're
It's
all
so
human.
tough, though.
I've had bad games. I've had bad innings. Like you have a bad inning, a bad game. That's it. I've had it, by the way, Glenn.
You know
I
who's a
played it
team
with
to watch out for, and they're a little under the radar because they didn't play it all this past week. Holy Schnitzel, that's Joel Rossman's team with Zagelbaum and Bromberg and unbelievable outfield. And then at first, they're a team and they have 4 pitchers. Literally, 4 pitchers are all very competent. They're a sleeper team. I'm just
Is
I
this
guess
like
the
a
real
4 out of
question-
7 finals? I mean, it's one game. Who cares if they have 4 pitchers?
Well, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily, because they have 4 pitchers with 4 different styles. You never know what they're going to throw at you. You don't know who's pitching when.
There's a fatigue factor also.
Yeah, just 4 games in 2 days. Like they might throw one. Assuming they go all 3 games or 4 games, they might throw 3 because they're in the 2-3 seed. They might throw 3 different pitchers for every game when Kaufman's.
They're facing 3 different teams.
Actually, before we go, let me get you guys' opinion on something. The MVP, we have an air suit from Twillery to give away. We were originally going to do it for the regular season MVP. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should it be if we make it the finals MVP, the MVP of the whole tournament? It's obviously going to somebody on the winning team, the air suit. So I don't know.
Regular season.
I mean,
What?
I think you could do. I mean, if you have it in the budget, you do a regular season MVP and a playoffs MVP. But I leave that to you guys.
Yeah, give the
Well, we
pants
only
to
have-
one and the jacket to the other.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I thought the point of the MVP was similar to the winning the division game. The gift cards was to sort of keep the playing games, the regular non-playoff games relevant. Meaning for the actual tournament, you have Wall Street Grill. You have Wall Street Grill giving $1,000 to the championship team. You have, we have the massive, different. You'll see the trophies that we're going to get, and we have a lot going on. We wanted to keep the regular season relevant as well, incentivize people to show up and play well. So I think that was sort of the point of the, awarding the tournament Twillery Airsuit MVP for the regular tournament games, so that it means something, that people
I think
actually
it's fine.
care about.
I think you should definitely give an award. Also, it doesn't have to be an air suit, but to probably the most undervalued player and drafted. I think it's a big one. Like of who obviously exponentially exceeded their value in the draft.
And each team should nominate one of those players.
And I think.
All right,
Avi,
listen,
you
guys,
need to
I got to
give
run though.
a gift
I got to
card.
run too. This is
I'll
too
just
much
end
fun
with this.
though.
Avi, you need to get a gift card to the most overvalued.
A gift card. A gift card to where? A therapist?
Smash
Yeah,
House,
but
$30.
that'll
Just
be-
and they have to eat by themselves with a camera on them. Just
Well-
know that they were the most overpaid player in the league.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming
Goodbye.
on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Glenn, don't get rid of the app. Leave the app running, humming in the background.
Okay.
You could do other stuff, but all right. Thanks for coming on. Bye.
Bye.